His final words to his attacker are brother. I ask myself why this incident has bared so heavily on my heart, and it's because I know people like Dawood Nabi. I know people like Dawood Nabi who, even in the face of death, still know nothing but compassion. You ask any Muslim person you know who's ever been involved in a Muslim community, been a part of any Islamic center, and they will tell you they know that same person as well. It is the brother who greets you when you enter a mosque, and he asks you how you are doing, holding on to your hand, seeking to give anything he has of himself as to ease you of your difficulties. That was Dawood Nabi. It is the sister who physically embraces anyone she meets for the first time, knowing that every single person must be met with love. It is sisters like Husna Ahmed. She escaped successfully out of the El Noor Mosque, taking all the women with her, and then she goes back. She goes back into the masjid to find her husband who's in a wheelchair, and she gets shot at the gate. It is brothers who greet you for the first time and hold on to your hand, not wanting to let go out of fear of making you feel unwelcome. It is sisters who open their doors and their homes for you, never once questioning the length of your stay or the pain that you are seeking to avoid. It is these brothers and sisters in this community who act out of compassion and mercy, not because they don't know any better. It is because their souls are so infused with the light of God that they don't seek to bear witness and seek fault in the creation of the Creator. And it is these lives that I fear will never be known by the masses. It is these narratives that I know will be erased. The public will soon come to know the total count of those who died in this massacre. They will come to know the specific instances of heroism shown. They will come to know the communities that denounce the hate, but our community will still remain misunderstood. Minority communities will still remain misunderstood. Prominent figures will tell you that they denounce all forms of hate, that you should support the victims of New Zealand, but they too will sit in discomfort, still questioning why we exist the way that we do and why we live the way that we live. These are my brothers and sisters who move physical and emotional mountains for their people. The brothers and sisters of New Zealand who keep fragile souls like myself grounded, who will continuously be miscategorized as backward, unassimilated, and above all not like us. And these lives will continue to be erased until we call out this attack and other attacks like this a product of what they are. A globalized ideology of white supremacy, perpetrated by prominent politicians and media personalities alike. Because when the president of this country says that there is an invasion on our southern border, that there is a caravan filled with Middle Easterners and terrorists and criminals, that is a product of white supremacy. When you have 12 of your own brothers and sisters, 12 of my own brothers and sisters last year that are murdered in their house of worship in a synagogue, that is a product of white supremacy. When you have 6 people that are killed in Quebec in their house of worship, that is a product of white supremacy. When you have 12 churchgoers, black churchgoers in South Carolina, whose killer by the man of Dylan Roof prayed with them for over an hour and then shot them to death, that is the product of white supremacy. When you have colonizers who have come to our lands, colonizing us for hundreds of years and extracting our wealth, and then we generations later try to know that their countries to try to seek back some of the livelihood they stole from us, and then subject ourselves to racial discrimination and profiling, that is a product of white supremacy. And when you have black and brown bodies in this country for centuries being enslaved, segregated, incarcerated, and deported, that is a product of white supremacy and nothing else. I pray for myself that the pain of New Zealand does not dissipate. that this drive and this anger to seek out justice and call out white supremacy in all of its forms to prevent more lives and victims from being erased does not end. And I pray that the allyship that is here, that honestly oftentimes only manifests itself when we can relate to each other in pain, because there oftentimes is no other way we can relate with. I pray that that allyship does not fail and does not cease to exist. The victims of the New Zealand massacre, our lives, just like lives of those before us that have been slain, are not meant to be forgotten. And I pray that we move from this day forward in allyship and community, taking down these systems of white supremacy and nationalism. Thank you.